Hi, welcome to the Noah's Ark Project, an ongoing series dedicated to the wellness and shelter of homeless animals. I'm Anthony Stasi. Today we have with us Laura Miller. She is from Bobbi and the Strays. Right, Laura?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Have you guys been a little extra busy with the hurricane?
Yes, we have actually. We're working on taking 10 animals from animal control in New Orleans, a mixture of dogs and cats. So we have to find space for them, and it's going to be large and medium dogs because they're the ones that need the most help. And they should be coming up next week.
Okay, and Bobbi and the Strays is in New York. It's in Queens.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other affiliations? Are you guys in other states? Only in New York?
No, we're only in New York. We do adopt out to the surrounding states, though, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts. If there's an urgent situation, we will take a dog from another state and help it out. But mostly we take dogs just from New York.
Okay, and about how many animals do you have at Bobbi and the Strays?
In the shelter itself, we have about 20 dogs and right now 9 cats. Mm-hmm. But we also have others in foster homes.
And where in Queens?
We're in the cargo area, the JFK airport.
Okay.
So there's actually a boarding facility there where people leave their dogs when they go away, and we rent space from them.
Okay. And you have, from what I hear, a big Halloween event that happens with the animals. What happens on Halloween?
We have an annual masquerade ball at Russo's on the Bay, and it's a big fundraiser event. We have a raffle. We raffle off things donated to us, trips. This year we have Marilyn Monroe's earrings and Elvis Presley's cufflinks that we're raffling off. Everyone gets dressed up in costumes. There's music.
Do they dress the dogs up? Or they just
the dogs actually are not there.
Oh, okay.
No,
it's
just for people. We have celebrities come. Last year we had people from the cast of The Sopranos, Goomba Johnny from KTU. So
how many years have they had this event?
I think it's going on 8 years now.
8 years.
Yes.
And how long has Bobbi and the Strays been around?
A long time. She started when she was a teenager. I guess
that was a long time ago. she not okay.
Well, she found kittens in a bag,
Gotcha.
That were abandoned on the street, and she's been rescuing them just out of her home. And then one day she saw a dog get hit by a car, and the workers just shoveled it onto the side of the street. And she was so traumatized that she stopped. She had a business in retail. She stopped what she was doing, and she opened the shelter and just started saving all the dogs in the neighborhood and the cats.
And then she later on opened her own.
Yes, and she's had the actual physical shelter for about, I think, 4 or 5 years now.
Oh, okay. Now, how long have you been there?
I've been there almost a year.
Now, how many employees do they have about?
Employees, probably 6.
Employees, volunteers, maybe.
There's a lot of volunteers.
Yes. Work with
there's
Bobbi and the Strays.
Dog walkers, fundraisers. Every day there's someone new who comes in wanting to help. People who groom the animals for us, and all kinds of people.
So you have like all kinds of dogs, or you have like the dangerous ones, pit bulls, Dobermans.
We have pit bulls. Our pit bulls are very nice,
actually. Pit bulls are nice.
They have to be trained to be mean. We do have one that doesn't like other dogs, but it loves people.
Okay.
Yeah, we have cats, shepherds, Rottweilers.
Okay. And now people come in and they adopt from Bobbi and the Strays.
Yeah.
And maybe they can adopt through Bobbi and the Strays to other organizations as well, since you're involved with these other groups. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe just right now, especially with.
Yes, like if another group doesn't
situation.
have what they're looking for, we're affiliated with other groups. We can.
And is it easy to adopt an animal there? Or is there a lot of paperwork?
There's a non-binding application. Just ask for references, a vet reference if you've had an animal before. Then they do a home check to make sure that the house is safe. There's not detergents on the floor, screens in the window. And that's basically
They do a background check almost like a child? Or
they don't do like police background check. There's references.
Okay. And do you follow up with these people after they adopt, let's say, a dog or whatever? Do you maybe a year later call and say, hey?
Sometimes, yeah.
We just want to see how the
dog
is
doing. Especially if it's a dog that's been through a lot.
Sure.
Or that we had a long time. You want to make sure everything is going okay.
Well, which animals are easier to, I guess, find homes for?
The small purebred dogs. We have like a Bichon. We have a list of people who want, a small Maltese, something like that. Very easy to find a home for.
Okay. And it's just, sometimes I notice, like I have a Maltese, and she's a pure breed.
Yes.
And sometimes people get offended by that. People in the rescues, that when you get a purebred animal, that you didn't go to a rescue or a shelter, and they almost get offended by that. Is that right?
Yes, some people do. I think because they associate it with pet stores, even though that's not always the case. We have purebred Bichons and Malteses at the shelter.
Well, are pet stores bad?
Well, sometimes pet stores get their animals from puppy mills.
Okay.
Which is it's not good for the animal to keep them in small cages and just breed them over and over and over again to make money. So.
Okay. My dog's from Budapest.
So not all pure breeds are from pet stores and puppy mills. There are responsible breeders out there, and
because I find that the smaller dogs are probably easier to handle.
Absolutely.
Especially like we're in New York, and people in Manhattan, and now Queens is getting more crowded, and where the studio is now is crowded.
Yes.
It's probably a lot easier for people to adopt and get smaller dogs.
And a lot of landlords won't even allow a larger dog in the apartment.
Like the dog that wasn't allowed here today, right?
Yes, like the shepherd mix I had outside.
Right, but he's outside the studio right now.
Yes.
You brought a dog to be on the show. Okay. And what if you had a wish list for Bobbi and the Strays? I mean, if you had anything you guys could ask for from government or...
The thing that we really, really would like, because right now we rent a very small space, would be to have a larger space for a shelter where we could help more dogs and cats, save more of them. So we would like a larger shelter. We always need volunteers to help walk the dogs and help socialize them, spend time with them.
Volunteers to walk the dogs that you have.
Yes.
In the facility.
That we have now, yes.
Okay.
We also need blankets and towels for them to sleep on, collars and leashes. Food is always a good thing.
Now, do you guys use a vet, like a regular vet that comes in, deals with your group or a couple of them?
Yes, we have 2 vets that we work with.
Because, like, my dog has health insurance. I know that sounds crazy. People are going to hate that, but you need that if you're lucky enough, because toward the end of an animal's life, you're in and out of the vet all the time. And I was just wondering if you guys do use vets and stuff like that. Do you try to encourage people to go to a vet
Absolutely.
after you adopt a dog to somebody?
Well, we make sure all our dogs and cats are tested for everything. They have all their shots and they're spayed or neutered when we give it to them, but they need an annual checkup every year. Some people bring it to the vet right away just to make sure there's nothing wrong with the dog, and also just to introduce the dog to the vet. But we make sure it has all its shots, rabies, Bordetella, everything, when we adopt it out.
Now, some dogs are usually a little harder to bring home, right? Some of them have bad histories or whatever, and sometimes they can be less friendly. Now, what do you do there? Do you give it some extra training before you?
Absolutely.
Before you rent it, before you give it to a family.
Yes, we wouldn't just give a dog out. If it had a history of aggression, we would work with it to socialize it, and if it didn't like other dogs, we'd make the adopter aware of that, so they wouldn't be in a situation, let the dog in a dog run where it could potentially hurt another dog. If it's not good with children, we won't adopt it out to a family with small children. So we want to eliminate all those risks.
Well, that's good. I noticed that, especially now, like the population gets older, the baby boomers are getting older, so we're going to have more and more elderly people. And the dogs, especially dogs, but probably all animals, work so well with people, especially older people. The companionship, it's been known people's blood pressure comes down, all these stats that are out now. And is there any way to kind of capitalize on that, maybe? Do you work with senior centers? I don't know.
I know the CACC, the city shelter that we work with, had a program called Seniors for Seniors, and they had senior dogs, and they were adopting them out to, seniors that needed companions and stuff like that, and it saved a lot of older dogs' lives, because when a family goes to a shelter, they don't want to adopt an older dog, so a lot of times they get overlooked and end up, they get put down. So, not that we put anything down, the city shelter did. So they saved a lot of lives that way by adopting the senior dogs out to seniors that needed companions.
Well, there are some shelters called no-kill shelters, right?
Yes, that's what we are.
You're a no-kill
Yes.
shelter. And that's a horrible term because I guess the other ones are a kill shelter.
Yes.
But they don't really hope to kill the animal. They hope to
Yeah,
get it somewhere.
the reason they're kill shelters is because if they're government funded, they have to take in every animal that comes in. And to take in every animal that comes in, you have a limited amount of space. So
So the ASPCA, that's government funded?
yes.
Okay.
So when they take in a new animal, you gotta make room for the animal. So unfortunately, some get put down.
Now, how do most of the animals get to the shelter? You find them?
Yeah, we find them on the street. Sometimes owners give up their animals if they're unable to take care of them, or sometimes, sadly, they don't want them anymore. They look at them as disposable. So we take them in. But most of the ones that we have, we find on the street.
Would it be maybe kind of another category now due to the hurricanes that are happening? Some sort of, besides finding an animal and somebody bringing it in, there are just these lost animals due to storms. It's almost like a third category because I noticed that there are statistics that the government puts out on stray animals. And now it almost seems like there would normally be another category.
Yes, absolutely. I think there was 5,000 displaced animals in New Orleans alone.
Sure.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
So,
And what about, now you have a website,
yes.
right?
Yes, it is bobbycares.petfinder.org.
bobbycares.petfinder.org. And let me see if I have the phone number right. 718-845-0779?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Bobbi was supposed to be here.
Yes, she was.
All right. What's her name? Full name?
Bobbi Giordano.
Bobbi Giordano.
Yes.
Okay. And you're filling in for us. This is a big plus for you. You
Yes.
should get promoted or something for sitting in for us. Okay. Do you have any dogs of your own?
My dog recently passed away,
Okay.
so we're looking to adopt another one.
Well, there's probably a place you can go. Right?
Yes, I have a couple that I'm trying to decide between. It's very hard.
Do you live in New York? You live, in the city, or you live in Queens?
I live in
or-
Nassau County,
Okay.
right over the border, so.
So you have some room.
Yes,
to
the
kind
yard.
of get a bigger dog.
So I'll probably get a big dog.
Okay. All right.
Can run around.
Yeah. Now, do you guys, does Bobbi and the Strays do training for other people's dogs, or is it just strictly strays?
If we adopt out, or if a dog, if we know the person and the dog really needs training, Bobbi will definitely help them out. Especially if it's, they're thinking of giving the dog up because they think it's untrainable. We'll definitely help them out, so they'll keep the dog.
Mm-hmm. And, do you get any animals from government organizations, maybe police use dogs? What happens when the dogs get older?
We don't get any of those dogs.
None of those dogs? I noticed, there's a big community of Italian greyhounds. I didn't even know there were Italian greyhounds as a type of dog, but there is. And they're very hard to find homes for.
We had 13 of them at one point.
You had 13 of them?
Italian greyhounds, and we had them all in a foster home.
Did they come from Florida or one of those states where they race?
They came from upstate New York.
Okay. Now, those easy dogs to kind of manage? Because I've heard that they're not easy.
The Italian greyhounds, they're a little skittish, they're very hyper, but they have
Moody,
big
like real
personalities.
Yeah.
We prefer to adopt them out to people who are experienced with Italian greyhounds.
Okay. Because now, are the Italian greyhounds the ones that race, or is
No,
that a
they're
different
the
type?
smaller ones.
Okay.
The regular greyhounds are the ones that race the larger ones.
Okay. And as far as aggressive dogs, you have some aggressive dogs, or I don't want to call them aggressive dogs and discourage people from adopting them, but there are some dogs like a Doberman Pinscher or a Pit Bull, which can be aggressive. Doesn't mean it is, right?
Doesn't mean it is.
But you do have some of those.
Yes.
And are they sometimes more difficult to manage, I would imagine?
Sometimes. Most of the time it's just people's perception, though, about the dog that doesn't allow them to be adopted. Most of those breeds that we had are okay. They didn't have any aggression issues.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, you know what? We're going to go to a short break. We're going to show some of the animals that can be adopted, and we'll come right back in 60 seconds about. So take a look at these great dogs.
These are some of the animals that we have readily available at the Noah's Ark Project shelter. Here we have Polka. She's a purebred Akita. She's spayed. She has all the shots. She's very friendly. She loves to go out for walks. She gets along with everybody. And she's up for adoption. Go over here. Here we have Singer. He's a 1-year-old rat terrier. He is neutered and up to date with all his vaccinations. He is very friendly. He's also very active. He loves to go out for long walks. And he's looking for a very good home. If you'd like more information, you can visit us on the web at www.arkproject.com, arkproject.com. Or you can give us a call at 718-343-5204. Again, the number is 718-343-5204.
Welcome back. We're talking with Laura Miller from Bobbi and the Strays. Continuing our conversation. The diets of the animals, you guys feed them anything special, or is there something certain standard that you feed the animals?
We feed the animals right now the pedigree dry, and we feed the canned food from Costco. And we feed them just this food because if you switch the diets, then it can make the dog sick. So we just feed them that, and then when we adopt them out, we give them a couple of cans to go so they can transition the dog gradually onto the new food.
Okay. And I notice you have a bracelet.
Yes.
And what's that from?
It says, I saved the pet. You can get them from Pet Care RX. They're $1, and all proceeds go to animal shelters.
And they go to all the animal shelters
Well, each
in New
month
York
they
or the
do,
tri-state area?
yes, and each month it's a different shelter that gets the proceeds from it in the New York area.
So you guys have been on there, Bobbi and the
Yes,
Strays?
so you've been on there in the past.
Okay, all right. And you have any sponsors or anybody, people help out? You get big donations, government help?
And we don't get any government help because we're a no-kill shelter. We do have very generous, donators in the area that help us out from time to time.
Okay. And interesting cases, anything, like what stands out? You've been there since December, so that's a good enough time to probably have some stories about animals you've brought in.
Right now we have an interesting case. We have a 15-year-old dachshund. He actually might be older than that, and they rescued him from Erie, Pennsylvania. Someone drove 8 hours to get him, and he was locked in a bathroom, and they weren't feeding him, and he's blind. So it was a very sad case. But he's at our shelter now, and he's waiting to go to his new forever home. He's a sweetheart. His tail wags when you come to see him. He jumps up. He licks your face. Well, he doesn't jump, but...
Now, how did he get to you?
One of our volunteers went and got him for us.
Okay.
So someone knew about this case and called us because she knew Bobbi, and she knew how big Bobbi's heart is and that she would help out. So.
Well, I'll tell you, my aunt has a dachshund.
Oh, really?
I think they're awesome dogs.
They are. They're really great.
They're really fun, and they're loyal, and they don't shed very much.
No, they don't shed.
It's good to like something German. You don't always get a chance to do that. But now, how long has Bobbi and the Strays been around, the organization?
She's been around about 10 years now, I think.
About 10 years? Okay. And any thought maybe that it might expand?
Hopefully. We're looking for, a new shelter where we can house more dogs and cats and save more animals and, branch out in different ways to help the community.
Advertise a little. Do you advertise at all?
We advertise on the internet. We're on Pet Finder. We're on 1-800-SAVE-A-PET. We advertise in Newsday. Also just flyers in vets' offices, supermarkets, anything we can think of to help get the word out there to get our animals a home.
Right. And do you get any volunteers from schools, high school kids, or is it strictly people who are more or less involved with animals almost professionally?
No, we get a lot of volunteers from high school kids that come in, especially in the summertime. They want to help out. Kids love animals too, so
sure.
They're very eager to help us out.
Now, certain animals, of course, help people with handicaps, blind, things like that. Now, do you guys ever come across animals like that?
We didn't have, not that I know of, we've never gotten any in our shelter. Usually those animals are very well taken care of because they help the people out. So the people who have those animals really need them and care for them and want them, so they hardly ever end up on the street or our owner surrendered.
Now, if there's an animal that's older, a dog that's
Yeah.
older, 14 or 15, like the dachshund, and nobody comes to get him, does he just live forever in the facility?
We try to place him in one
A
of our
lifer? That's what they call him in the Army, a lifer?
we try to place them in one of our foster homes, so at least they live out their life, in a more comfortable area. But we would never put it down unless the dog was in extreme pain or unable to walk or something like that. But if it's, still healthy and just older, then we let it live out its life.
Okay, okay. Well, anyway, I told you that I have a Maltese,
Yes.
which I think is adorable, and I want to
Very
throw this
adorable.
idea by you. There's a chip
Yeah.
that some animals have. You know what I'm talking about?
Microchip,
I don't
yeah.
know the exact term of it, but it's a tracking device, which sounds horrible, right? But it's
It
supposedly
helps save a lot of
It
dogs.
saves a lot of
Yes,
dogs.
we microchip our dogs.
Right. It's you microchip your dogs.
So when we adopt them out, and if the dog ever gets away and it
They can
doesn't have a
find
tag on it, and animal control picks it up, we
It's like
get
a
the
dog
dog back.
LoJack.
Yeah,
But does it work? Has it ever happened?
it has.
Has it ever
Just
happened where you
recently,
found a
we
dog?
got a dog back. Animal control found it 3 or 4 days ago, and it had a microchip in it. So instead of being at the city shelter where it was at risk of being put down, they found out it belonged to us at one point, so we took the dog back.
Okay. Because I kind of feel guilty a little bit about the fact that my dog has this chip.
Well, the dog can't speak and tell, someone where it lives.
It is.
It's usually in the back.
I know. I try not to look for it. But I feel good that she has it.
Yes.
But I'm a little curious as to whether or not...
You shouldn't feel bad. It could help save her life.
Okay. Now, what about celebrities? Like, usually there are a lot of celebrities that are involved with animals, helping animals. They want to get involved. That might be good for Bobbi and the Strays,
Absolutely.
maybe to find some New York celebrities, like
Yes.
the ones you mentioned
Yes.
at Russo's on the Bay.
Yes.
Which
so,
is, when is that event?
it is October 27th.
October 27th
Yes.
at Russo's on the Bay.
Yes, in
And what
Howard
if
Beach.
people want to go to it? Can anybody go to it, or you have to be invited?
No, you can call Bobby up and order tickets.
A little pricey?
They're $80 per ticket.
That's not bad. For Russo's on the Bay, that's pretty good.
And it's a wonderful party.
It's a wonderful party, and you guys auction off.
It's a raffle.
Okay. And
So we have trips. I mentioned Elvis Presley's cufflinks, Marilyn Monroe's earrings. They were donated to us by Rosalind Herman. She collects celebrity, memorabilia.
Because I'm involved with a group that helps children with autism, and they have a big fundraiser at Russo's on the Bay as well.
Oh, really?
And we do a silent auction every year,
Oh,
and that
okay.
brings in a lot of money.
Yes.
So it's a really good event. It gives people a reason to get involved. I just want to give the website number for the Noah's Ark Project while we're in this conversation, since that's the umbrella organization that this series is about. And it's arkproject.com, ARKPROJECT.com. And that's an organization that we're going to talk about a little bit later, and it helps find homes for animals that need homes, just like yours.
Yes, sir.
And now, how many shelters, rescues are in New York or Queens, or what would you say?
There are a lot. I know, when we first got on Pet Finder, which is a website that helps people find animals, it's only for shelters, there was only 27. And that was a long time ago. Now I think there's even more than that. This was like 5 years ago. So there's quite a lot in New York.
And now, are there any fees, like
Yes.
the Bobbi and the Strays, for
For
adopting
adopting
animals?
to adopt a larger dog, it's $175, and that covers all the shots, the spaying or neutering, and the cost of housing it until it gets adopted. Most of the dogs are with us 3 to 6 months before they're adopted, so that fee goes towards alleviating those costs.
Oh, so in other words, that's the minimum you can have a dog for. I mean, you have to hold on to the dog for a certain amount of time
No, but we usually have it 3 to 6 months before it gets adopted.
before it gets adopted. And you
Yes.
have cats as well.
Yes.
Now, what's the fee on cats?
Cats is $100.
$100.
Yeah.
Now, is it easier maybe to find homes for cats, or?
It's actually harder because there's so many cats. cats are just, they live outside in communities, and unless it's, like a Mancoon cat or a Persian cat or, like a
Mancoon
very,
cat. What is
they're
that?
large and furry and beautiful
I
and
got you.
very
Expensive
desirable.
cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, a lot of the cats look the same, so.
And there's probably less sympathy for cats in a way, because they know that people know that they can survive if they have to
Yes, outside.
for a little while on their own. And with a dog, you're kind of not so sure if it can survive on its own. And I had a mixed breed dog for a long time when I was when I lived in Ozone Park, and I think they're the best dogs. The mixed breed, like a German Shepherd dog. But I think basically as our society gets older, and as people have more and more special needs, which unfortunately is the case,
Right.
that these animals will have more of a purpose and more of a role.
Right. Well, that's what they were bred for. That's what the pure breeds were bred for. To suit a purpose or to do a specific job and things like that. Like the retrievers for to retrieve the ducks that the hunter shot, and then the sledding dogs for things like that. And the mixed breeds are great companion dogs. If you don't want a dog to do a job, you just want it to be a companion. That's what they're there for. They want to have a purpose too. And right now, dogs' purposes are, to please their owners and to
Sure.
be great companions.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, well, we're just about out of time.
okay.
Bobbi and the Strays. It's in Queens, New York.
Yes.
Bobbi and the Strays, and it's bobbycares.petfinder.org. Thank you, Laura,
Thank
for
you.
being with us.
Thank you.
And come back anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Anthony Stasi, and good night.